Good afternoon, guys. This is DW. I don't know if you can see me down here. I've got the Airman PDS185S compressor. I use this for sandblasting, for going to do def dates, for going places. So this is not what I use for like cleaning out pipe work and like other guys. Now I want to show you around this unit. I bought this originally 10 years ago, 2006, April 2006, and this is the first service I've actually ever done. I've looked online and I've never been able to find anyone who will show me how to do all the filters, the oil changes, the compressor oil changes or anything. So what I'm trying to do today is make a video for you guys to understand how this works or how simple it is to change. I was quoted 1,300 for doing the filters, for changing the oil, for doing the full service. I bought the parts for $325 and the manufacturer, it's MMD Equipments. So if you go online, MMD Equipments, they will give you all the parts that you require for this. The body, the chassis, the wheels, the tires, anything, and all the engine inside. So just bear that in mind. MMD Equipments. Google it. They're great help. They help me. Fantastic. I've also got, like I said, the part manuals, the catalogue numbers, the instruction manuals, servicing manuals, everything you need. So if there's anything I can assist you with, if it's what schedules, how long should I be doing a service, when should I do a service, blah blah blah, just give us a shout. If you need a part number, give me a shout. If the company can't help you, which they did with me, so I'm sure they'll help you, and I can help, then I'll help you. This is a diesel engine. It's a Nissan engine, and obviously it says run with doors closed, and that's obviously for so air circulation and it doesn't clog it up. Right, it's an awesome unit. I've had this, like I said, 10 years, and within those 10 years I've only used 1,095 hours 1,095 hours in 10 years. This needs a service every 500,000, so I've done quite well. 10 years. Only reason why I'm doing a service on it now, I did actually want to do it 3 months ago, but when the guy gave me the price, it changed my life. I thought, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Now inside, this is the air filter in here. I'm going to zoom in actually. Let me get nearer for you. Let's get nearer to this system so you can see inside it. Right, I think you can get everything near it. Let's just get back a bit. Right, I think that's good enough there. Okay. Now I've never dealt with this, so I don't really know. When I bought it, it did the job. I was happy. It was brand new. So now I have to change the air filter and the oil and the compressor oil and everything. This is the diesel tank. Very simple. We all know that. You can open that. You put your diesel in. Engine coolant again. Fuel filters here, fuel filter up here, all your engine stuff, and your air filter. These are the things you're going to need to change. Oil filter, engine coolant, the filter there, air filter, and there's a filter inside here, and your oil filter there. And there's one on the other side, which I'll show you in a bit. I'm trying to do this quick so that we can get through it. Right, I've already taken and done what I needed to do here to empty all this lot out. On these units, there are taps, drain taps. Let me show you those. They're drain taps, as you can see. It says there. These are drain taps. If you go along the bottom, that's underneath there. There's your radiator drain and your engine oil drain on the far side there. Radiator and engine. Now I've already drained out all the oil. I've already emptied all the compressor oil. down there and out. There's a tap just inside there, down next to the, just below the air filter, oil filter, sorry. Now there's other things that you need to do with this. Like I said, there, up there is the air filter, which I've already taken off because I was using it one day and my wife suddenly stopped the engine to say there was oil, literally, excuse the French, but pissing out of there, out of that little nozzle. And what that basically means when that happens is you've got a back feed because the air filter's clogged, and it sucks it from there and pushes it straight through the air filter. And there's really a warning straight away. So it started coming out and it started coming onto the floor down there. I've obviously washed that and cleaned that area away. So let's see then. Let's get nearer to this. This is the main area, I think. Let's get there. Right. I'm going to start taking parts off. So the air filter is just a clip. Pull out the clip. This is the air filter, which went inside there, like that. That covered it over. I took this out. This was dirty, really dirty. I've hosed that down, thinking I was going to reuse it, but I've got the parts and I can I'm going to put the new one in. So that's the air filter. Always when you take out the air filter and you're leaving it for a period of time, cover the insides. Make sure that nothing gets inside there. So just cover that hole and then put the lid back on until you get your filter, or do it straight away, or whatever you're going to do. So I'm leaving that in there. Actually, no, I can put the air filter in. So I'm taking that out. This is the part number for the filter. It's P82888-9R. Hopefully you can see that, and that's the filter engine air, so it says. So I'm going to throw that box to one side. There's the new one. Nice and clean. I'm going to place that inside. It can only go one way. There's a flange that comes out there and it goes inside there. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And it wiggles in until it fits. As you can see, that looks good. I'm just looking every so often to see if you can see it. Let's get nearer so you can see that. Yep. So that's pushed in nice and tight. That then goes over and fits on. Then you put your lugs back on, or the clips should I say, and they actually attach onto this nice and simple. This here comes off. This is the rubber. Once that got oil in it, I had to clean all the inside of that down. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, like I said, I've drained this oil, the compressor oil, and I'm going to change the filter down here. Can you see it there? Let's get that. I've drained. This is the oil filter, and it obviously says oil filter. So let me get that one ready. Here's the new one. Nothing fancy, no fancy names. Nissan is, I think it's Japanese, Chinese, I think, or Japanese, whichever. But so what we do is, now there's going to be some oil that comes off that. Like I said, I've emptied most of it, but I just want to get most of it out. And I've got all my stuff next to me, all my tools that I need next to me. That's not bad. So I'd already taken this off, I'd already emptied it. But that's the old one. Take some of the oil from the top. Just put that seal on there. Can you see? I'm sorry if I'm boring some of you guys. You may already know what you're doing, but there's a lot of people out there. I mean, I had this, like I said, 10 years and never knew how to change it, because I wasn't that minded. You know, I can do what I can do and that's it. But it gets to a point where if you can save someone money, I'm all about saving money. Especially for you guys out there that when you're self-employed, all we do is we buy expensive equipment to do the jobs that we need to do. And then, you know, we pay people expensive amounts of money to repair the tools that we need to do the job. And it's a never-ending circle. You're working to pay, basically. Right, just get that put away. Okay, right. So now the filter goes on. So I've put some oil in there. And I'm going to put that back on. You might want to know how to take it off, and I'll show you that in a second. The same way I'm going to put it back on. If I can get it on. There we go. There we go. He says famous last words. Feeling good, a bit greasy. Am I going the right way? Yes. Just needed to get it on. There we go. Just slip in. Okay. Right, I've done it hand tight. Now, I know sometimes some people feel, you know, a bit weak and they feel like it's hand tight, but I've also got this belt which goes on if it's tight to get off. I got this from Auto Parts. You just wind it and then you undo it. You know, it untightens it or tightens it up depending. So in this case, don't need it for this. So that's nice and tight. Okay, so the filter's done. Now, on this is where the hydraulic fluid goes in, and it does say what they recommend to use, you know, whatever. Also next to it, it says, when oil is found mixed in discharge air, clean the strainer in the joint with the arrow mark. So it's showing you that this unit here, let me see if you can see it. Yep, you can. Now this unit here obviously has the oil coming through it. Now I've already undone this, again, just for time reasons. So that unscrews, gets a bolt on, a wrench on this side, a wrench on that, undo one. I just want to show you inside it. So inside that there's a little oil nozzle, so it's only a small. Let me see if you can see that. I don't know if you can. Yeah, I think you can. So that's where the oil goes down in there. And then on this unit here, I'll get it slightly nearer. It's got an arrow. Let's just see if it'll focus. There. It's got an arrow pointing down. So that's the way that the flow goes. So that's the top. Now that is pressurized. So when oil's pushed through that, it comes through a little filter in there. Now I've already blown this out, literally put my mouth on the end of there, blew it just to make sure nothing really came out dirty or bad, and air flowed through it. So that is the filter inside there with two little, like a wing clip that you push together. You can see the either side there, and then that comes out, and you can clean out the filter. But obviously this unit was stopped as soon as the oil started coming out. Right, so that goes back on there. I'm going to tighten that up right now. Get it hand tight first, I think. Should use a smaller one, but Didn't. I don't remember it going all the way up, but I think you leave us a bit of a gap. So lock in that. Yeah, that should be it. You don't have to tighten that all the way up. Now this goes on. So hold the pipe while you're turning it, because the pipe will want to bend and kink, twist. So and when you've got that on, just tighten that one up. And that's about the same as what it used to be. Now, inside this, because obviously I can't really put any fuel in there yet, or sorry, hydraulic fluid in yet, because obviously I want to clean everything out first. This lug down the bottom, can you see it? Yep, you can. This lug down the bottom is where you put your hydraulic fluid. So that comes off, and that's where it goes in. Now I didn't know that because there's no signs, there's nothing that says hydraulic fluid here. So you guesstimate, you just think and you play. Now I've undone these lugs already. It's an 8mm Allen key. Now England we call them Allen keys. I don't know what you guys call them over here, but it's an 8mm. And then you undo these. There's 4 screws, 2 at the back, 1, 2, each corner basically. Now this is the first time I'm taking this off, so you're going to see what I see for the first time if you haven't already done this before. Long bolts with washers, so don't lose your washers. Long bolts with washers. I think the only part taking this off, the hardest bit, was just getting the Allen key. Once you get it behind, try and get a long one, because the short ones you ain't got a grip. So if you've got a long one, and then you just obviously open it, push it, and it just squeaks open, or a bit of a tightness. Right, that came straight off, so that's good. Here we go. Now, how do I get this off there? I think we turn it, wiggle it, yeah, wiggle it off. So I've loosened it. There's the old one, and you can see how oily it is. So it's obviously done its job and it's had its time. So I thank it. I thank it for its service, and I now get a new one. Right. Just make sure we clean the area first inside. Actually, to see that's got the compressor oil in, it's nice and clean still. I know I'm just wiping it, but there's not much residue. Wipe the edges, sides. It's got a bit of oil. I can see a bit of residue in there, some oil. Right. Well, I'm pleased that was easy actually. I'm going to put the new filter on. I think, if I'm correct, this is your new filter. Yep. Can you see that? That's the new filter. I don't know what that's for, but I don't need to mess with it. I think that's to peel something off. Inside, nice and clean. So again, do the same thing, put it inside, put it on, check something here. I don't want to damage anything. That's where we are. I think it needs some oil on the rim. I think you need to put oil inside there. So what I'm going to do is, I've noticed there's a bit of gunge on this seal. Maybe that's the rim from the previous one. Let me just check. Yep. I just found this seal which was on top. That's why mine wasn't going in. This is from the previous filter. So I'll keep that seal because you never know when you can use another seal. And I'm wiping it down now inside. There's a bit of rust looking. And then there's some oil inside that, so I'll put some of that on the edge so it slides on, and put some of the oil just inside to lubricate this. Now let's see if it'll go on. See, at the end of the day, we're all learning together. If you've done it before, then you know. If you haven't done it before, then it's great to learn. I would rather spend an hour of my time doing this, or 2 hours or whatever, than pay someone else. Someone could safely say, well, that's not fair for them, but that's life. That's how we get around. Now, yeah, a bit. That was tight to get on, but it's on. There is a slight gap there all the way around, but I think once I put these bolts on, it'll take it home. We'll get it into its own base. So I think so far this has taken me 22 minutes just to change out, but bearing in mind you'd have to open all the oils first, you know, get rid of the old oil from the engine, which I haven't put the engine oil in yet. I don't know if you guys want me to stop and then do another video, or just watch it all. Let's see what it gets to at half an hour, how much I can do. I have taken off the battery as well and put that on charge. So I'll show you how the battery works, not how it works, but where it goes. That goes on the other side. That's when I get to the other filter, which I'll be probably doing in a minute, because that looks like, I think this engine has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I count 6 filters. Oh, wait, on is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. What was the other one? 5, 6. Yeah, I count 6 filters on this. Now they said there's 7, and they've sent me another one, but I don't know if it's another. There's several different styles of engines. This engine is. I think, what was the name of it? Oh, I'll check that out in a bit. But this is, you know, they have I think it's 27, turbo diesel 27, and then they have turbo diesel 18 or something, or whatever, 27, 30 and something else. So they have 4 different styles. I'm sorry for keep talking, but time is money and money's time. That's what I've always said. And I work to those schedules. I try and get everything done so that people can understand. So I'm talking my way through it instead of just letting you guesstimate what I'm doing or what's happening and what else should be happening. You can always turn the volume down if I'm boring you. So just that side now. maybe I should edit the tape before. So if I suddenly go quiet and it freezes, you know why. In fact, I might do that. I might just freeze it. Okay, so I stopped the video only so I can make sure these were nice and tight, and they're all sealed. All these now are nice overhand tight, if you'd say, and that's good. That's done. Now we've done the filter below. This here, this tap. Let me see if you can see the tap. I'll take it at an angle a bit so you can see it. Zoom in on there. That tap there, and let's point to it. There, that's a tap, and that's the valve. Turn it off and on, open and close it, should I say. And just below that, you'll see it there, the little white thing. It's there. It's behind the tap. Way behind it, underneath this unit. If you open that on if this is a cold area, we're in Florida, we don't get a lot of cold, but if you're up north somewhere in America or in England or Europe or wherever you are where you're dealing with this, if it's a cold area, a cold place, and you need to start it, you open this valve, and this is the air filter that helps, and that helps you to start the engine. We've never had to use that, and I've always wanted to know what it was for, but the company, who, like I said, who I've been dealing with to get the parts, they assisted me and told me, ask questions, ask loads of questions if you're in doubt, because that's how you learn. So you open that, there's a filter here, air filter, you start the engine, or helps to start the engine, and then you close it. Done, simple. Now I'm going to stick with the filters next. So I've got the filter up there and there. Can you see those two? Let's just space it out. I'm going to take it from another angle now so I can get to work on it. So I'm dealing with, where is it? I'm dealing with that filter now. Have I opened it? No, I haven't. So I'm going to open that one now. So I'll put this belt on. And then just I'm doing it the right way, he says. Lefty loosey. No, I think I've done it the wrong way. So I'll redo that. I've already opened it. Tighten that up. I know there's other types of belts out there, probably easier than this, but that does me fine, it's cheap enough. This is that filter, comes with a seal on. The filter number is 16403-J5500R, and that's the oil filter, oh sorry, the engine filter, diesel. So I don't know what's going to come out of this first. Yeah, that's, now should I be closing something here? He says no, I don't think so, but I'll put a cloth there to stop some of this. Never done this, so I don't know if it's going to spurt out. Always make sure you've got everything turned off, there's no air in the filter. Oh, look at that, that's nice. Let's get this in there. I'll put some in there. Bit of a waste. But hey ho, rather do the job right. Well, that was short and sweet, really. Just get that tight. So I never got that wet. Place. Nice and easy. Now there is this one up here, which is get the part, which is this replacement. Now I don't throw things away, so I'm going to be keeping this one as the original. Crocodiles to get it off. Pull that thing off. Get that top bit. Couplers. That's easier. Put that in there. That doesn't feel as tight, tell you the truth. But then again, let's just see. So it's cleaned out, just pour that oil. Okay, I've also changed these pipes here. This is a new one because they crack on the ends. This one and this one. I actually used, I cut the old one. Well, I literally just changed out this pipe because it was cracking, and that pipe that was cracking. That's just screws and unplug. Anyone can do that, I'm sure. So now I think it's time to put some oil in here. Let's get this off. Keep that safe. Let's see. Now, let me just go over this side. If you can see this here, this pipe, it needs to be above half there. So that's where you need it. From that half point to there, that's perfect, just up there. So you'll see that fill up. Actually, but I'm going to pause. Am I? No. I wanted to get the oil out properly. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go to the engine oil because I've got the engine oil out. Sorry about that. I've got the engine oil ready. So I'm going to do the engine oil first, which is here. Engine oil. And what I've got is Rotella T triple protection. Where is it? Something here. It's a gallon, obviously. It's the 15W40 heavy duty diesel engine oil. Make sure you've got diesel if it's a diesel engine, for those who don't know. There are other things on the back which it must be, so for protection, certain codes or something it is. Meets servicing CI4, blah blah blah. SEA, yeah, just make sure you get the right one. Heavy duty, That's going to go in there. And then the dipsticks just on the other side. So let's just start them. I'll do one and then I'll put the others in. I think I've got 3 of these, so I don't know. I'm going to do one at a time and then check it. So I'll stop the engine as soon as I've poured this one in. Stop the engine. Sorry, stop the recording. But you get the idea. You put it in, and then the dipstick is here. There's the dipstick. So I'm going to be checking that as we go along. But I'm going to continue to pour some in there now, and then I'll check the dipstick and then make sure if it's full. So I'm going to stop it again so I'm not boring you. Okay, so now I've filled up all the engine oil. I've let it stand for about 5 minutes, putting the cap back on, and I've been checking with the dipstick. I actually used 2.5 of these. I went over the 2.5 mark and it filled it past the full mark. So I'm going to show you that on there. If you can see, it's there. So that's the marks actually from there. Well, that's where it should have been there. So I've gone past it, but it's not going to be a problem. Now I'm going to move on to the compressor hydraulics. There are obviously several different styles of hydraulics out there, fluids. As you can see here, that's what they recommend. But I spoke to the field sales manager sort of thing for the company, and he said as long as it's compatible. So I've gone with AV46 hydraulic oil. I also have a John Deere hydraulic, but that doesn't give you enough information on, and I think I'm going to go with this one because it's non-foam, anti-wear, and all sorts, corrosion, blah blah blah. So I'm going to go with this one. So we're going to fill this up now. Now this is, unless you've got 3 hands, or something similar to this where you can pour the oil in by hand and then do it bit by bit. That's a bit slow and boring. So I've got my son to help me, and he's going to hold the end of this like so. Done all that there. Make sure it's inside there. Let's see what you can see. Yep. And I'm going to pour it from the bucket. There it goes. Not really good. How did we do it last time?
We use another one. Stop.
Why?
It's filling up.
This is going down there. I'll keep it flowing. Roll in. I'll press it down.
No.
Right, that's done. And if you can see now, where is it? Where's my finger? There. That unit there, it's above the halfway line. So if I'd say half's there, that is what they recommend as being good. So halfway and just past it, they say that's full. They're happy with that. So that's that done. Looks nice and clear. So all I need to do is put the bolt back on. Make sure you tighten this because this is compression. This is, you know, you don't want it exploding or anything, or blowing out. That's nice and tight, that's done. Okay. One more job, and then I will get this going. So I'm just going to take you around the back side of the. This is the front, by the way, of the air. And you see, you've got your two valve outlets. You've got your key. There you go. Two outlets. You can have three outlets, but we only ever use two. And then down here is the battery compartment and the compressor side. So the next filter is there. You can see it. That's the engine oil filter, I believe. Again, we've already taken this one, got it ready, so it makes it easy for you guys to see and quicker. So that was taken out. That's obviously really dirty. Get rid of that. This is the new one. With some oil on it. Just put some engine oil on there. Goes in there. Let's get it nice and tight. That's done. Right, I'll show you while I'm here the engine on this side. There you go, alternator. Let's zoom out of this. All your electrics at the back there. Everything, you can get to everything there. Now down here, I've taken these off. These are small heads. Just a spare compartment for storing stuff. And what I want you to see is under here is the battery compartment, and there it is. It's been taken out because I've put it on charge and I'm cleaning this area out now. So I'm going to stop the engine. Keep your eyes on these. That's broken, that needs to be replaced. So I'm going to get another part and I'll put that on. It's the battery connection. I also wired up on this, which it didn't come with, but I wired up some lights. So, but at this moment in time, that side's all done, and really that, I think, is it. There's no others.
No.
Okay guys, this is probably the last part of the service. I showed you earlier on the connection, which I've just replaced. Went out to Auto Parts, bought a new connection for the battery. Put the battery on. The battery's been on charge. It should be ready to do its job. So let me just get this in here. He says famous last words. There we go. That sits in there. So, track cables. What's that for? Right. So that battery sits nicely. This battery is a crank start of, let me just see, 875. Cold crank start is 700. This is not the original battery. This is a battery we replaced about 3 years after we bought it. So let's move this out of the way. Get these on. Negative. Ground, as you guys call it. Set that into position. Put this on. It's a bit tight. I've got a bit of leeway on that. That's it. It just needs tightening up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if it'll start now I've got the battery on, and see what happens, so I'm not wasting your time again. Most people know how to tighten up battery connections, that's what I've got to do, but it's nice and tight fit on there at the moment. So I've got the keys in. Make sure these are turned off, we don't want to lose any air. It's on start. I'll show you this. Can you see? It's just filled itself up. That's filling itself up now. So I'm going to give that time. Can you hear the noise? That's topped up. I'm just going to give it time to stop that noise, so that it's cycle the diesel through everything. Once it's filled up, I think I'll get it started. Let me just show you this, by the way, down here. These are the receiver drain oil, receiver oil drain, diesel drain oil, drainer. And I think that's it. Let's see if it starts. Yep. Do it again. So, as you can see, job's done. Everything's filled up. Everything's well, everything's done basically. Let's go from there, see what happens. Have a good day. Hope that helped. If you have any questions, just give me a shout. Hi guys, one more thing before I forget. Make sure you run the compressor for at least 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. Let it, you know, get the engine oil moving through the engine because you've obviously drained it. And what I did is, obviously, I explained that I only used 2.5 of these 2.5 gallons of the oil, and it was way past on the dipstick. But after running it 5 minutes and leaving it for 5 minutes to cool down, I checked it again and it was bang. Well, let me show you. It was actually, the dipstick was perfect. It's right in the spot where it needs to be in. So 2.5 gallons should top that engine up perfectly. Another thing, the hydraulic oil, I ran it and for the 5 minutes or 4 minutes, and it literally filled up the oil filter and it went into the splitter up here. That level dropped dramatically, so I opened it, filled it back up, topped it back up obviously, and now it's up to here now, so I'm going to be using it again today. One more thing, I'd like a special thank you for Brett, the field service engineer at MMD Equipments, who has actually assisted me, giving me advice, telling me what not and how to do certain things. So a special thank you to him. Give Brett a call. I'm sure he'll help you guys out. But this is a fantastic engine, a fantastic piece of equipment, and I'm well impressed. So best of luck with your service. Any questions, give me a shout. I can help you where I can help you. Have a good week, weekend, day, whatever. Thank you guys. Bye.